All right, guys. So for the next few videos, we're going to give you some building blocks, some foundation technique stuff. The first thing I want to talk about is alternate picking. That's kind of the thing that I do more than anything as far as how to make a sound on a guitar. Uh, this seems like a no-duh kind of moment. But we never really think about how to make the guitar speak as guitar players. It's one of those things that you strum the guitar and you think, okay, that's how I make my notes, or whatever. Or if you're legato or if you're tapping or whatever. But all of these things are just human mechanics on how to get the note to go through the guitar, through the cables to the amp, right? So essentially, we all live on one side of the coin of picking, right? Some guys like to pick every note. Some guys like to use more hammer-ons and pull-offs. We're going to get into that. For me, I live on the picking side. I grew up a mandolin player and playing bluegrass, playing all those types of tunes, developed alternate picking as my default mechanism. So I want to talk about the alternate picking thing. This is something we could talk for days upon days on. I will spare you that. But alternate picking is a bit more than hit the string down and then hit the string up and repeat it. I always make the joke that that's all it is, but it's actually quite a bit more than that. There's a lot of mechanics that involve how you've got the pick slanted and things like this. And since I've been playing, I've discovered that we as guitar players, we either like to transition through strings when we're alternate picking. If this was the string set, we either like to transition through strings on the outside of the strings. By that I mean hitting a downstroke and then an upstroke. So on the D and G strings. Or we like to transition on the inside. There is no right or wrong here. But what you're going to discover is that you prefer one way to the other. Your body will naturally be like, this is how I want to change strings. What I want you to focus on is the version of that is the uncomfortable one. Okay, when we're playing 3 notes per string or 2 notes per string in standard guitarist manner, we do that because that is very natural to the hands and the picking. So like if you have an E minor scale, the picking hand resets every time, every sequence. Right? You hear on that 6th note, when I hit to the 7th note, I'm on a downstroke again, and it's all resetting. It's all very comfortable. Where that gets broken is when you have odd groupings. Let's take a group of 5. Let's say E minor pentatonic, and we're going to put 2 notes on the D string and 3 notes on the G string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So in that, what happens is on the first one, you're starting with a downstroke. And on the second grouping of 5, you have an upstroke. And this little exercise will really whip your right hand into shape, because it's going to do to your brain what the stomach and the head thing does, right? Where when you patting one and rubbing the other. You're going to have to transition on the inversion of the downstroke. So your first one's on the downstroke, your back one's on the second on the upstroke, and it's going to be really uncomfortable. I don't know which one that is. That's for you to find out. But one of these will be uncomfortable to you, and this little exercise will help you overcome that stickiness that develops. The reason this is important is if you're going to play lines across the guitar that are you're going to play any kind of meandering line like that, the picking will end up doing something that the right hand doesn't want to do. And at the core of that is this root of how do I get through the strings. That's where everything you end up wanting to hit 2 downstrokes in a row as you transcend strings or anything like that. But with alternate picking, this is a huge barrier that I'm trying to break down with very simple mechanics. So this is going to be exercise 1. And in the next video, I'll give you another cross-picking exercise to follow up on this.